If coffee doesn't really wake you up anymore, if you drink it out of habit but the spark just isn't there, there's a reason for that, and it's not tolerance in the way people usually think, and it's not because you need a stronger roast, more caffeine, or some new biohacker stack. If you want the full reset that actually brings energy back instead of just squeezing what's left, I broke the whole thing down step by step in the guide, but even just understanding what's happening here usually flips how people see caffeine completely, because the truth is, coffee doesn't create energy, it borrows it, and at some point, there's nothing left to borrow. Here's what's actually going on. Most people who say coffee doesn't work anymore aren't low energy in a simple way. They're overstimulated and under-recovered at the same time. Their nervous system has been running hot for too long, not in a dramatic panic mode, but in a constant background alertness. You wake up already tense, your thoughts are moving before your body is ready. Your system never really powered down overnight, so you start the day already behind. Coffee works by blocking the signal of fatigue. It doesn't fix tiredness, it masks it. And that's fine when your system is fundamentally rested, but when your baseline is already depleted, blocking fatigue doesn't create clarity or drive, it just adds noise on top of exhaustion. This is why the feeling changes over time. In the beginning, coffee feels clean, you feel sharper, lighter, more motivated. Then slowly it starts feeling jittery, then flat, then pointless. Eventually it just makes you anxious, wired, or weirdly sleepy. That's not caffeine failing, that's your nervous system saying, we're done pretending. When your system is already flooded with stress hormones, cortisol, adrenaline, adding caffeine doesn't give you energy, it pushes you further into overstimulation, and the body has a built-in response to that. It blunts the effect, not because it's broken, but because it's protecting you from burning out completely. Here's the part most people never hear. Real energy doesn't come from stimulation, it comes from recovery. And recovery isn't just sleep quantity, it's nervous system depth. You can sleep 8 hours and still wake up depleted if your system never dropped out of alert mode. In that state, caffeine has nothing to amplify, there's no reserve underneath it. That's why coffee starts to feel like pushing on an empty gas pedal. You're pressing harder, but the tank is dry, the engine revs, but the car doesn't move. This also explains why people in this state often feel more awake late at night than in the morning. It's not because they're night owls, it's because their nervous system is finally matching the level of stimulation it's been stuck in all day. Morning feels dead because the body is exhausted. Night feels wired because the system never shut down. Most advice around this focuses on caffeine timing, dosage, supplements, or cutting coffee. That might reduce symptoms, but it doesn't fix the cause. The cause is that your nervous system has learned to live in a state where stimulation replaced restoration. Coffee became a crutch to override fatigue instead of a boost layered on top of real energy. And once that pattern sets in, no amount of caffeine will bring the feeling back. You can't stimulate your way out of depletion. What actually restores coffee's effect isn't quitting coffee, it's rebuilding the baseline underneath it. When your nervous system starts spending time in true rest again, not zoning out, not scrolling, not collapsing, but actually downshifting, something surprising happens. You don't need coffee as much, and when you do drink it, it works again, not as a life support system, but as an enhancement. People are always shocked by this part. They think energy comes from adding something. In reality, it comes from removing constant activation. Once your system isn't running on emergency power all the time, it stops resisting stimulation, it stops dulling responses, it lets things work normally again. This is why the guide doesn't focus on hacks or stimulants or morning routines. It focuses on teaching your nervous system how to actually recover, especially at night, because once recovery is real, energy shows up without being forced, focus comes back, motivation feels natural again, and coffee goes back to being coffee instead of a failed rescue attempt. If coffee hasn't been working for you in a long time, that's not a personal flaw, it's a signal. Your system isn't lazy, it's exhausted, and it's protecting itself by not responding to more stimulation. Once you fix that foundation, you don't need to chase energy anymore, it shows up on its own. And if you want the full process that actually rebuilds that baseline instead of burning what's left, it's all laid out in the guide, not as theory, not as motivation, but as a reset that brings your nervous system back to a state where things like sleep, focus, and yes, even coffee, start working the way they're supposed to again.